Hello, friend. Those who are listening, perhaps at this moment, in a corner of your own. Have you ever woken up one morning, heard the alarm clock wing, and the first feeling that came over you was not the excitement of welcoming a new day, but a heavy oppression in your chest? You struggled to pull yourself out of bed, prepare to go to the office or sit down at your desk, and then face repetitive and soulless tasks. You see your peers, even people you know whose abilities are not equal to yours, they are advancing, they are being hailed, recognized. And you feel like an invisible person. You know you have made an effort, you live honestly, you work hard, but the result is only silence, injustice, or worse, failures that you do not deserve to receive. There is a very real pain that few dare to speak of, which is the feeling that one's talent is being buried. The feeling of being locked in a narrow box, struggling how much you can't get out. Maybe you have ever wondered, why is it me? Why do I live honestly but life treats me like this? Where is God when my career is stuck? Psychologically, when people try many times but cannot change the result, the brain starts to believe that all efforts are meaningless. We lose the motivation to live. We begin to drift. We consider this period of time as dead time, just wanting to sleep, want to escape, wait for the day to pass. But dear friend, if you feel like you are in the prison of that impasse, then the story I am about to tell is for you alone. Because there is a person in the Bible who has been in a prison darker than you, more unjust than you, but he has turned it into the greatest launch pad of his life. That is Joseph. We often remember Joseph as a powerful Egyptian vizier, but we often forget the terrible price he had to pay to get there. Let's open the pages of Genesis again to look deeply into the life profile of this young man. Joseph was a talented person with great dreams, but what gift did life give him? First, he was sold by his own brothers as a slave. When he went to Egypt, he was a slave in Potiphar's house. He worked excellently and was trusted by his master. It seemed that life was brighter. But no, the master's wife accused him of rape, a blatant slander hitting the honor of a moral young man. Genesis chapter 39 verse 20 recounts that Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. He remained there, in prison. Imagine, the prison at that time was not a place of reform. It was a deep, damp, and dirty hole. Joseph lost everything: honor, freedom, youth. He did nothing wrong. He was punished only because he rejected temptation and lived straight. That is the pinnacle of injustice. But perhaps Joseph's greatest pain was not the chains, but the oblivion. In prison, Joseph met and interpreted dreams for the chief cupbearer. When he knew the official was about to be reinstated, Joseph only asked for a small thing, an urgent plea. Please remember me when you are happy, and please do me a favor by speaking to Pharaoh about me to get me out of this house. He put all hope in that relationship. And what was the result? Genesis chapter 40 verse 23 writes a short but very painful sentence. But the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph. He forgot him. He forgot him. The door of hope just opened was slammed shut. Joseph had to stay in prison for another 2 full years. 2 years of waiting in vain. Every morning when he awoke, he hoped the door would open, but it was still closed. That is the dead zone. That is the feeling of impasse that you may be enduring right now. So why didn't Joseph go crazy? Why didn't he commit suicide or become hateful of life? The secret lies in how he defined the period in prison. I call it the spring effect. Imagine a spring. To make it jump very high, what do you have to do? You have to compress it down. The more tightly you compress it, the stronger the rebound force will be. Joseph did not consider the prison a grave burying talent. He considered it a place to compress the spring. The Bible records an extremely valuable detail. The warden put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners in the prison. The warden did not check anything Joseph did, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it succeed. Pay attention to this detail. Take care of all prisoners. Even in the worst circumstances, Joseph still worked. He didn't sit in a corner to complain or blame his fate. He turned the prison into a place to practice management skills. He learned how to manage people who were the most difficult prisoners. He learned to listen and empathize. He continued to hone the gift God had given him, which was the ability to interpret dreams. If Joseph just sat and complained, gave up, then 2 years later, when Pharaoh needed someone, what kind of appearance would Joseph appear with? A crazy, life-hating person? This is a painful lesson for us about two concepts, dead time and live time. Dead time is when you sit passively, waiting for someone to come to the rescue. And live time is when you take advantage of every minute of being imprisoned, being held back to learn, to practice, to prepare for a bigger position. Maybe you are unemployed. Maybe you are doing a low-wage job. Don't call it bad luck. Call it the training course in the desert. God is hiding you not to punish, but to protect you and train you for a bigger position that you are not strong enough to handle right now. So, what is the solution for you right now? I invite you to practice these 3 small things starting today. First, change your question. Don't ask, "Lord, when will I escape suffering?" Ask, "Lord, what skills do you want me to learn in this situation?" It could be patience, humility, or management skills. Find that lesson and graduate from God's course. Second, serve right in your prison. Serve colleagues, serve customers, even if they are difficult to like, even if the job is small. Excellence in the dark will create a halo when you step out into the light. Third, hone your skills. What is your weapon or talent? Is it writing, design, or cooking? Use this free time, the time you call waiting, to sharpen it really sharp. Don't let sadness rust your talent. I want you to ask yourself a question that awakens your inner strength. While waiting for a great opportunity, are you using this time to complain or to sharpen your skills? Dear friend, waiting is never in vain if you put your trust in the right place. Joseph waited total of 13 years for God's promise to come true. The distance between dream and reality is perseverance in challenges. Maybe you haven't seen the results today, but remember one thing, God is never late. He also never comes early. He is always on time. Don't define your self-worth by your current job title. Your worth lies in the fact that God is with you even in this prison. To end today's sharing journey, I want to send you a Bible verse, like an anchor holding your soul tight in the upcoming stormy days. Write it down in your heart. That is the promise of the Lord in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 22. I am the Lord. When the time is right, I will hastily perform this. And another translation interprets this meaning beautifully as, when the right time comes, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Please trust in His time. Turn waiting time into the most brilliant time of preparation. Because when the door opens, you must be ready to step up to the position that the Lord has reserved for you. The peace of the Lord be with you.
Please click like and subscribe to my channel for the new, interesting stories. Thank you so much.